you think no one would ever notice? Are you scared that you got nothing to give? Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Who are you deceiving? Play so well, say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to.
Hello. As you can probably tell from the title, I decided to split my self-portrait painting process video into 2 parts. 3 if you include the prep video that came before this one. Mostly because it was going to be crazy long even after cutting out a lot. The point where I decided to cut it, I had already been working on it for 4 days and had like hours of footage to go through, and I still feel like there's a lot left that I want to do on it. I think I'll end up having worked on this painting for around 30 hours by the end of it, which feels like a lot to spend on a painting, especially one that lives in my sketchbook. But if you're new to my channel and you like chill, cozy art vlogs, subscribe. I've been trying to post more often, plus I already have like 200 videos up on my channel here on YouTube that you can check out. But I try to paint a self-portrait every year. Normally it ends up being towards the end of the year or even the beginning of the next year. So this is my 2025 portrait, and besides the oil painting I did a few years ago, the one with 4 arms, this is probably the most technically difficult one.
I can be stubborn, thinking I'm right. I can be late, cause I'm taking my time. I can be driven, ambitious, your best friend, love of your life. I can be selfish, trying to be kinder, always forgetting, needing reminders. But I'll always be there when you need me. Cause I know that 2 things can't be true. Cause I get so confident yet confused, so I'll let go to live in between who I am and who I wanna be. Maybe I'm incomplete and a messed up masterpiece. Know everything and nothing, a childish 20-something with my pros and my cons.
Okay, it is now day 2 of working on my self-portrait. This is where we got last night. I'll make sure to record a little video of that. Also, I got a new camera. This is actually my second time recording this clip because the first time I literally just took a photo when I started and a photo when I ended. But hopefully it looks much nicer than my other camera. I guess let's just get started painting.
Maybe to a fall, 'cause I know that 2 things can't be true. 'Cause I go from bossa to blues, so I'll grow to love in between who I am and who I wanna be. Oh, maybe I'm incomplete and a messed up masterpiece. Know everything and nothing, a childish 20-something with my pros and my cons, my mistakes and my flaws. Don't have it figured out yet. I'm a work of art and a work in progress.
So for the idea of this painting, the original selfie I based this on was from February of 2025, and there was a lot about it that I really liked, so I decided to use that as my starting point. But I didn't like how my hair looked, and since I took the photo myself, one of my arms was missing. And also, since getting surgery was the big life event of this year. I felt like I needed to include the scars from that. So I retook the photo with the help of Bo and then kind of Frankensteined them together to get a reference that I liked. The next part is where things started to get more interesting, I think. When working on more difficult paintings, sometimes I like to throw my reference into GIMP or a program like that, and then put the oilify filter on it and adjust the settings until it starts to get pretty blobby, and then I use that as a reference for color mixing and placement. It kind of keeps me from getting too distracted by all the details. But it also brought out this really cool geode effect that I decided to really lean into. When I was describing my plan for this painting to Bo, I also described it as a topographical map or wood grain. I'll put some pictures up on the screen so you can see what I mean, but I thought that would be really cool. Once I had an idea, getting started was really scary past the point of prep and planning, because now I had a vision of what I wanted the painting to turn out instead of just kind of going with the flow of painting, which is what I normally do. I do think having this slight abstract aspect to the painting helped me go about it in a more creative way. A lot of times my self-portraits, I'm just kind of copying a selfie that I took at some point in the year. And while I don't always have the energy to think of a whole concept, it is fun to work this way, even if the style has been very difficult to me on just a skill level.
Her tongue, 'cause she likes my lips, but she won't move on. She said just friends, and I can't see why she's not with. What if I only like her because she's out of my grip? No, if she gave me the chance, I know that I wouldn't slip, because she holds on to something I know she never wanted. Yeah, I should probably leave, but she's leaning in. She's in my car, but she's out of my league, only in my arms temporarily.
Good morning. It is Wednesday now, and it is time to get started on painting for the day. If you can hear crunching, it's because Soba is eating his food. But this is where we left off last night. I was having some difficulties with values, so I'll need to work on fixing some of those on the chest today. Fill in the left arm and the blanket, and then we can start the fun part of just adjustments and fixing things. I'm getting really tired of working with these colors. Honestly, I'm feeling a strong urge to give up and just pull out my full palette and stick to the colors, but use whatever colors I want for mixing. But last night before I stopped, I did mix a few colors ahead of time. I'm actually enjoying working on this little plastic palette. It came with the homey acrylic paints that I tried a while back. Let's get started.
How can I find satisfaction? I fill my time with more distractions. Another text, I gotta respond. I'm in my head, I just wanna turn it off. Just wanna turn it off. I'm good as long as I'm productive. Even if it's self-destructive. Someone needs me, gotta say yes. I miss my bed, but I keep running instead. I keep running instead. It's been non-stop running round the clock.
Show us the burrito.
There's never enough time to get through it.
Got squished. Fuck yeah. Beans. Looks good. No. Good morning. So this is where we left off last night. I feel like it's going really well. Started to kind of fix some of the values of the chest area that I wasn't super happy with. And now that everything is covered, this is the fun part where you actually start cleaning things up and refining it and making it look a lot nicer. I feel like you can kind of start to see the vision I had. That's where I'm at painting wise. I was going to take the morning off and catch up on cleaning. Since the sun sets so early, I think I'm going to paint first and then try to do some housework after painting. So I'm gonna work on, I want to say primarily value adjustments today, and I might start to kind of clean up some of these edges so they don't look so messy. But yeah, this is day 4 of working on this painting.
Save my soul. 10 toes in my bankroll. Why you running away from me? I don't know. Thirsty, I'm Paco. Why you running away from me? I don't know. I maybe see me scorsese. I missed that little feeling when I kissed your face. Apnea gone, I was feeling so warm. Now I'm feeling so cold. Can you come and hold me? I don't think I'm okay. Tell me that you're okay. Every single thought inside my brain replaces your face. I don't think I'm okay. Tell me that you're okay. Every single thought inside my brain replaces your face. So fighting, so it's alright. Fighting when I don't like dying. Let it go. Yeah, let it go. 10 toes in my bankroll. Why you running away from me? I don't know. Thirsty, I'm Paco. Why you running away from me? I don't know. 'Cause I don't like fighting, so it's alright. Fighting when I don't like dying. Let it go.
Okay, it's an update on where we are at, and took a picture with my iPad so that I could check the values. And I have a few things I know that I want to change, I guess. One, I really like the colors on this arm and the values and such, and I feel like this arm is too dark, and I like the colors of this one better, so I'm going to try to replicate these colors over here. Also, the chest is leaning a lot more purple than I would like. I like the light purple, but this darker purple, I think I want to go over it with kind of a blue, like a light blue wash to make it pull a bit more blue. And then these shadows here around the hair are just a little bit too dark, so I want to lighten those up a bit. What are you doing? Yeah, and then after this, I need to start working on having some shadow and highlights in the background. Those look really cool in my reference, so I'm excited to do those, especially the ones around the hair, which I want to change the shape of the hair a little bit as well. And then obviously I still need to work on the hands. I'm just putting that off, honestly. And yeah, this painting is definitely taking me a while. It's hard. Now it's 1:30 and I'm really hungry, so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to eat leftovers from last night, and then after lunch I will come back to this. Alright, I have had lunch, and I think since I already have several hours recorded of this painting, for the rest of the day I'm just going to work on this off camera, and then I'll give you an update in a couple hours or so. So this painting ended up being like very elemental, and I think I'll see a lot more of that in the next video. But in the last video you saw me working on my sketch of this piece. One of the first notes I had was that I wanted the shape of the blankets to look more like a mountain. So you'll see that at the very beginning of this video I'm kind of fixing that shape a bit. And there's a few other things that I feel like kind of lean in that direction about this painting. And then the last thing you might have noticed is that the hair is very Medusa-y, and that just kind of like happened naturally during the painting process. But as I noticed it, I just decided to go with it. I love painting that way, where you just kind of see where the painting takes you.